Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's The Weekly Therapy Podcast. I literally had to look at our neon sign because I was like, I feel like I'm going to say your Weekly Therapy Podcast wrong.
Because it hasn't been weekly.
It has not been weekly. I think we're now on kind of a regimen, or hopefully. We got a day picked out each week to record. Sorry, my name is Tell Williams. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm a teacher and social worker. And here to my left...
I am Anne-Marie DiPietro, and I am a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
Yay! We've made it. It's officially February.
It is.
And so we thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about like bad dates we've been on, or just dating in general, because like Valentine's Day and such. But it was funny because like, as we were talking about this, it's next Sunday. Sunday's the Super Bowl.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Today's the Grammys, and so we were talking about Taylor Swift. And how there's always seems to be like some hubbub going around about like her and dating, or her and exes.
Right. Well, I mean, her most popular songs are all about different exes.
Right. I feel like there's like there's always so much like discourse about it too.
Oh, for sure.
And I think it's like I like that we're kind of trying to now go on a path of like not like slut shaming which people have been doing for years, for how many like people she's dated, and now we're like, okay, like it feels like an appropriate amount of people that you date like as an adult. Hers is just very public, but then I think it's also funny because like now that we're kind of, you know, not shaming ourselves for that, I feel like there's this idea that like mental health physicians have it together. We don't.
No, we don't. We don't. I mean, we're pretty good at giving relationship advice to other people. We basically like do the opposite.
Yeah, those who can't do.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, now I guess it's a little different because like I'm married and you're engaged to be married. So but it wasn't. I mean,
it was a long road. I'm 36 years old. So
when was your first like big breakup?
Well, we're going to have to go back to the dark times, which are the men times.
The men times.
So my first big breakup was when I was in college, my sophomore year. It was someone that I had been dating for several years. And I found a profile on passion.com.
What was that?
Well, it was a website back in, I guess, what was that, 2006, where you could look for threesomes and foursomes and fivesomes and, multiple partners. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he was on there.
He was on there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I would be so mad.
Oh, I was livid. And then later, after we broke up, I found out that he had been sleeping with one of my best friends the whole time.
No.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
He was probably trying to like work the courage up to asking for a threesome. And was like, maybe she's on Passion?
Yeah, passion.com.
They're dirtying the soap opera that was.
Oh my gosh. R.I.P. Timmy.
I know. Timmy and Tabitha. Tabby.
I wonder if anyone else watched Passions.
Oh, they had. Listen, I'm not gonna out him. But someone I went to high school with, very, very straight, obsessed with Passions as well. And he was like, well, it was on at home. I'm like, don't lie to me.
Yeah.
Everyone was into Passions.
Right. Days of Our Lives and then Passions.
Yeah. The love triangle between, was it Ethan and Teresa?
Mm-hmm.
And like, do you remember was it Prom or Homecoming episode where they like mimicked the Titanic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like restructured my brain.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Teresa, the actress, she does Lifetime movies now.
I'm glad that she's still getting work.
Yeah.
She was the early 2000s for me.
Oh, yeah.
What? It wasn't, was that Days of Our Lives, that Kristen Storm?
Yes.
Xenon?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That was Days of Our Lives.
If you don't know what Passions is, I guess we should. So Passions it was a soap opera that came on before Days of Our Lives. And it was like.
It was after Days of Our Lives.
Was it after?
Yes.
Okay. So it was like the teen soap opera. Would you say? More geared towards teens.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a little like magical because there was a witch and, you know.
There was definitely like a magical aspect to the show.
Yeah.
And then Timmy, the doll, came to life. It was Tabitha's, like, ended up being like her child or whatever. It was ridiculous. It was amazing. It was everything I wanted in a
for sure.
In a soap opera and more. It taught me how to love.
I know. I still sing the theme song.
You're my passion, my life. Yep.
I won't scar everyone by trying to sing it, but
I just did.
yeah.
I feel like it's maybe that's why like it was such like so much turmoil in the dating for us is because we were obsessed with passions. Like that was like
sure.
that was our gold standard of dating. Was
Yeah.
a soap opera.
Right. And I mean, when my first breakup ended with passions.com, it was like full circle.
Full circle moment.
circle.
I
Yeah.
can't. I'm trying to remember my first big breakup. I feel like my first like breakup, like in heavy quotations, was like I was dating my best friend who's now a lesbian. So I was like, we both knew. We just knew.
I love that.
And I think it was like our freshman sophomore year, because we started dating in 6th grade, and then we were like on and off again, and then we finally just like I remember sitting on the hood of her car and being like, we're friends, right? And she's like, yeah. And I remember being like devastated because I felt like it was gonna like end the relationship we had, and it just made it so much stronger. So you can go from dating to friendship, but it has to be strictly platonic afterwards.
and you
I
have
think
to be
gay and a lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what happened for us. But I feel like that was my first like heart-wrenching breakup, and it wasn't even that like I was upset that the romantic relationship was over. Is that like, I mean, we're still best friends of 21 or 22 years now. Wait, 2002, 22 years. Like a Taylor Swift song.
Love that song.
I feel like my first romantic, like devastated breakup would have probably been, I would say my freshman year of college, because that was like the first time I had a boyfriend, like significant boyfriend. We called each other boyfriends, asked each other that kind of thing, and was the nicest human in the world. Like you couldn't have dated someone nicer, to the point where
So you were like, bye?
me.
Because he was too nice?
No, I wanted to like, after probably 2 weeks, I was like, went like full lesbian. I was like, U-Haul, let's get married. This is it. But this was around the time that they put me on medication for bipolar disorder, even though I'm not. So I was not regulated.
Yes.
Not regulated.
No.
And so he was like the sweetest human, and like, drove an hour and a half to school because we went to different universities, and was like held my hand and broke up with me. And was so sweet, and like stayed for a while to make sure I was okay, and was like the nicest human in the world. And I was like, probably couldn't have been a better breakup, but it did set me up for failure of how I thought breakups would be moving forward after that.
I can't say I've ever had a good breakup. Like
Really?
every single one was so dramatic.
Why was that?
I mean, I must just be dramatic. I don't know. Or I have like really horrific luck.
I mean, maybe a bit of both.
Did we talk before about my ex that's now dating my ex?
I don't remember, but I like the story enough that I do want to
me
hear
to
it again
retell
because it is
it? Okay.
traumatic.
So I was dating someone for a couple years, and we had lived together. She moved out. She was like half moving back in, whatever. I ultimately gave her an ultimatum, and I was like, you're either like moving back in for real or like we're done. Because I honestly think she would have like lived apart from me and dated forever.
Really?
Like we saw each other like 2 days a week, and she
man.
would be like fine with that. But so anyway, so we broke up in May. I started dating someone else maybe like the next month. It was like not super serious, but after you get out of like a long-term relationship,
Yeah.
the next person you meet, you're like, oh my God, we're getting married. Let's go on a cruise.
100%.
So literally we
You say,
planned to
"Let's
go on a cruise. Yeah. We planned to go on a cruise, okay, in August.
Oh my God.
And I don't even know what happened before the cruise. It was like something with her work, whatever. Ultimately, she bailed on the cruise, right? So right before the cruise, I had a cat who ironically belonged to my other ex, but I had adopted the cat. And my ex that we're talking about loved the cat. So we had to put the cat to sleep. So my ex came to say goodbye to the cat, blah, blah, blah. We do that whole thing. The current girl I was dating came home from work and they crossed paths. Okay. Cross paths. I would say
2 ships passing in the night. 2 cruise ships passing in the night.
Max of 7 minutes. Okay.
Okay, that's like a little bit more than cross. I'm thinking like just like on the street. Like they like probably hello, hi, how are ya for 7 minutes. There's talking involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mostly like me talking probably and
About
like
the
trying
cat.
to make it not
100%.
So I go on the cruise by myself, which, by the way, is fantastic
Is
to
it?
go on vacation by yourself, for sure. I met another nurse practitioner and her family. We like went to the spa. I did whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Got breakfast in bed. It was great. So I'm on the cruise. My ex and I had still been talking, the long-term one. And all of a sudden, while I was on the cruise, she just like stopped talking to me, like wouldn't answer,
Yeah.
whatever. And we never really like talked about why that was or whatever. Now, between August and December, both of them intermittently were talking to me. They like came to my house. We like did stuff. I
Yeah.
made like robes for one of their sister's weddings for
Okay.
her. So,
But they're both your ex at this point.
right.
Okay.
And I'm like talking to them separately
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
of course, like
Yeah.
they had nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
I met the one girl at work and the other girl on, I don't know, some lesbian dating website.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm like living my life, going along. And then on Christmas, one of my friends sends me a picture and is like, I just found this picture on Facebook. And it was a picture of my two exes
No.
at a wedding together. And I was like, oh, what? Oh, what?
This is like my ex girlfriend's wedding best friend. It's a Julia Roberts and Cameron Diaz rom com if I've ever heard one.
Right. So come to find out, they met up in August while I was on the cruise and had been dating the whole time.
So when they saw each other for 7 minutes, were they dating?
No. That was
Okay.
when they first
That was love at
met.
first sight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So then a few weeks later, I go on the cruise. They met up while I was on the cruise.
Perfect time.
And then, like, weirdly, both kept talking to me. Both, like, separately would come to my house. Just so weird, right?
Well, I think it's just like the lack of like being like completely like honest and like full disclosure. I'm talking to your ex, even though I'm your ex.
Right. Like we're in a full-blown relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they, like, ever communicated.
I mean, to be fair, you are a matchmaker now.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Are they like still together?
I mean, last I checked, honestly, they were, but I have no idea because
They better. Can you imagine them being like, how did you two meet? And you're like, well,
right,
yeah,
right.
You gotta
That was one
disclose
of the
that.
things that I said.